YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new Needles for the Win video. Back at it with another Pokemon Unite video. And in today's video, I have for you guys 5 great tips and tricks that you guys need to know before you guys hop into ranked games. Or just in general, these tips and tricks are good to know throughout any level of play, whether you're just doing standard battles with your friends, going into ranked. These are just very useful tips and tricks to have. So yeah, there's going to be 5 of them. I'm going to probably do them in order of least important to most important. And the last one I'm going to harp on a shit ton because, oh my God, the amount of times I see people not doing this in my games, it blows my mind. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into tip number 5 or number 1, but I'm going to count up from 5 to 1, but yeah, you get it. Make sure that before you guys enter into any ranked games, try and grind for level 10. And why I say this is because if you go into your item box, or not even that, just battle prep in your held items, this is where you get your 3 item slots. You unlock this 3rd item slot at level 10. And items, as you see, they give you a base, increase in your stats depending on the level of the item. Getting items leveled up is a whole other topic we'll get into. There's been a lot of debate going on in the community about if items are pay to win. So we'll get into that in a future video. But yes, make sure you hit level 10. That way you can have at least your 3 item spike. Because even though it is a small difference, like I just threw on this leftovers, is only 16 HP. It's probably not doing much. But the ability where I'm not in combat, I'm getting my 1% of my max HP every second. With all this bonus HP that I'm getting on my Snorlax, it's like a bonus 160 HP plus his base HP because he has the highest endurance stat in the game. This leftovers really does add a lot to my viability and usage in my Snorlax games. Every character has a great 3 item spike. Just make sure you try to get to level 10 first. When it comes to the best items on your Pokemon, what items you should run, I'll make a video on that soon as well. There's a great website out there that's been made by the community on Reddit and Discord. It's PokemonUnite.gg. I'll probably leave it down in the description below. If you're looking for some of the best move sets and items to run on your Pokemon, that's a great site to check out. But yes, make sure to hit level 10. That's a great tip. On to the next one. Starting off in the beginner class, Pokemon team competition doesn't really matter too much, but as you're working your way from beginner to master, team comp really does matter. You don't want to have 2 defenders or 2 supporters or just 4 all-rounders on your team. You want to be able to mix it up because having the more utility during the team fights, the better, because you don't want to be caught out in a team fight and lose out on big objectives like, Dreadnought, Rotom, or even the big one, Zapdos, because we all know that changed the tide of battle. So what sort of team comp should you be looking into? What sort of lanes does everyone go into? Let's go ahead and dive into that a little bit right now by looking at all Pokemon. So let me go ahead and actually move my webcam. All right, I'm up here now. So every Pokemon is sorted into 5 different categories. We have supporters, all-rounders, attackers, defenders, and speedsters. So just starting from the top, supporters, these guys, everyone does well going with one other Pokemon in a lane, except for speedsters, in my opinion. Speedsters should be your ones clearing out the jungle just because they are super fast, really efficient jungle clears, and they'll be able to go in and gank your lanes, either top or bottom, depending on which lane is more pushed in towards your team's goal, etc. So in my opinion, supporters work really well with the all-rounders, and currently the best supporter in the game, in my opinion, is Eldegoss. But if you end up picking them up and start mastering them, Mr. Mime is also a solid contender. If you are a Mr. Mime main, you have the ability and capability to fuck up a team. Like, Mr. Mime is strong. Up next, we have the all-rounders. Currently, 2 are free to play, so if you're looking to try out Machamp or Garchomp, go ahead and do so. These guys, as I just mentioned with supporters, they work better. That sort of duo is best. So whether it's top or bot lane, if you're a supporter, you want to go with the all-rounder, vice versa. Currently in the game, I think the best all-rounder is Lucario, just based on his speed. He's really fast, and whenever he does hit Lucario form, he gets really strong. Machamp is really fun as well, and in my opinion, I just think Garchomp and Charizard take too long to scale because they're not super useful until they hit their final form. And then even then, like Charizard, when all he really has is his Unite move. Other than that, he's pretty easy to dispatch and deal with. So yeah, Lucario and Machamp, Those are two really solid picks for all-rounders. So if you're looking to pick up a new all-rounder Pokemon today, there you go. Next, we have our attacker category. These guys pair well with, the next pairing are defenders, and vice versa. Defenders go well with attackers. So make sure if you're an attacker, pair with the defender to go into your lane, and, defender go with an attacker. Some of the best attackers in the game currently, one of them is free that you can all get, Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales is solid. If I was doing a tier list, Alolan Ninetales would probably be A+ or S. Like, Alolan Ninetales is solid. Auravel gives them so much tanky durability. The amount of freeze and, just the durability and utility of Alolan Ninetales is extremely fun. And then Cinderace, the strongest, that is the most ADC champion in the entire game. Yeah, it takes a little while to get up to Cinderace, but even whenever you're, the Scorbunny and Reboot, you can do a lot of damage. It has the highest range in the game, I believe, unless you're talking about a Cramorant. Oh, I think that might outrange it. But Cinderace, just basic attacks. You can just poke the hell out of the opposing laners. And the damage that comes out of Cinderace is surprisingly strong. So if you're looking for a couple of attackers to play, Alolan Ninetales and Cinderace are my picks. Let's move on to the defenders. All right, so the defender class, these guys pair well with an attacker. And currently, it is sort of biased, but also just, plain facts. Out of these three, the number one tank in the game is by far Snorlax. With his heavy slam and his shield, that sort of utility is insane. If you go into a team fight, you heavy slam and you use your shield to cut off part of the team from the team fight. What I like to do is jump behind people and push them into the team. That way they're constantly getting stunned and my team is just beating the shit out of them. And then when you do that, you can even ult on top of the rest of them. And by the time your ult is done, your heavy slam is back off cooldown. It's just a ton of CC. Snorlax is a beefy boy. A close second is Crustle. He is free to play, so if you didn't end up picking Snorlax as your first Pokemon, I'm sure a lot of people didn't. Crustle is a solid option for your tanky defender role as well. Make sure to pair with an attacker and get some free wins. Finally, if you're a lone wolf and you're looking to clear out the jungle and gank your teammates, this is the category for you. Everybody gets Zeraora for free as long as you log in and play before August 31st, I believe, on the Switch. And if you are waiting to play on mobile, you're not going to miss out. Unite will, let everyone know how to get Zeraora for free on mobile when that time does come. But Zeraora, and by far away, the strongest speedster in the game. His kit is insane. His damage is insane. Absol is a close second. But I feel like Absol is a lot squishier than Zeraora. As Zeraora, if you run Volt Switch Discharge, you can go in, discharge, even use your ult and beat the shit out of people. And if you're getting too low, reactivate your Volt Switch and you're just out. And you'll easily get 2 or 3 picks in a team fight before you even need to leave. Zeraora and Absol, by far my favorite picks for the speedster category. And that's how you would be looking to make a pretty solid team. Again, if you're in the lower elos, you don't need to really worry about this because everyone's still kind of learning the game, figuring it out. It is day 3 when I'm recording this after all. But yeah, supporters and all-arounders, you guys are a good pair. Attackers, defenders, good pair. Speedster, you're on your own. Get some wins, boys. Tip number 3 ties in with tip number 2, and if you are looking into those Pokemon, say you want to pick up an all-arounder and you don't know exactly which one you want to buy, if you have saved up some coins, like me, as you can see, I have 14.7k. I haven't spent any of my coins yet, and you're waiting to just look around and see which Pokemon would be fun for you to pick up. Always hit X, go to practice, go to the practice area, and just play with the Pokemon. This is the best place for you to understand what Pokemon you're playing and what sort of moves they can go into. You can always restart it and change up the move set that you run. Let's say I want to learn how to play Absol. You can just pick them. You'll load right up into a game. Once you load it into the game, you have free roam of the map. There's only one other Pokemon on the field at this time. And you have little substitutes that you are able to attack if you want to try to get some damage numbers. You see my basic attack does 170 damage, pretty pog. It doesn't reset, or if it does, I don't know how to reset it. Practice options. So you can give yourself more cooldowns. You can look at the stats on the substitute doll or just data. You can turn on and off wild Pokemon. You can give yourself all the levels in the world. So you can build all your different moves. So say I want to go with Night Slash and Psycho Cut. I can do that, upgrade my moves, and then I can run around the map and learn how to do them. I've actually never played Absol, so this is kind of weird, this sort of hook thing. But this is basically the gist of Practice Tool. You can move around the map, just get a feel for how the character reacts with the environment, how his moves work, all that sort of fun stuff. This is a great way to get the hang of a Pokemon before purchasing them. If you're just interested, this is a good way to tell if you are going to end up buying them or not. Also, before loading into a practice battle, it is good practice to hit your ZL and go down to the moveset and, take your time to read everything. A lot of people don't take the time to read their moves. They just, go into a battle, pick whatever one looks cooler, and go for that. But we're not in Japanese beta anymore, okay? We have English. We can read all this stuff now. Take advantage of it. Read what your basic attacks do, your upgraded attacks. Read your Unite move. Your passive is also super important, and what your basic attacks do as well. All these come into play. Every Pokemon on their third basic attack, they do something special. Everyone has a special passive, and these sort of things can work with building items. So say this thing just has, an increased critical rate. You can go into the items and give them some critical attack rate items like scope lens to make it even higher. The way you can just build like a solid crit build Absol. Obviously, I don't have all the items unlocked right now, but that's sort of just that you can get from that tip. And on to the next one. For tip number 4, this is something that I use a bunch, but I don't see a lot of other people use ever. And this is the chatting feature in Pokemon Unite. If you hit up, you have this whole list of things that you can say. If you need backup, if you're going to the top path or bottom path, heading to the central area, if you need to get them to gather at a certain location, this sort of thing is very useful, especially if you're not playing with friends. This is very useful because you'll be able to communicate to your teammates in the only way possible that you're going to, back up from the fight that you're in. You're going to need backup in the fight that you're in. You're trying to increase morale. You have this thing. Well, I clicked the wrong one, but you can increase morale with the, the fist icon. Be like, let's go, baby. Keep the pressure on. But this is super useful. It really ties into the final tip, which is kind of a teaser. Make sure people gather to fucking Zapdos for the love of everything holy. You need people to beware of Zapdos because Zapdos is the biggest game changer in this entire game. You can be down 300 points before Zapdos spawns. If you take it, you win. If you get all your dunks in. With Zapdos down, everybody that fought it gets 50, a free slam dunk, so it's 100 per person. You just need to get to the zones, man. You just need to get to the zones. So make sure that you use the heck out of this feature. It's super useful, especially if you're playing by yourself or not with the full team. I highly recommend this feature. I use it a ton, and I can tell it works. I play with 2 friends, so we usually have 2 randoms, but I can tell that they're somewhat listening, or they just have a basic understanding of the game. But yeah, highly recommend it. And this ties into tip number 5, which I'm just going to stay on this practice tool and just, I'm just going to harp on it. Please, please, please get everybody ready to fight Zapdos. Because, oh my goodness, like I just said before, Zapdos is the biggest thing. At the 2-minute mark, before he spawns in, you get an announcer saying, hey, you're either super far in the lead, it's a close game, you're super far behind, whichever. And there are certain scenarios that can play out if you are in the lead or if you are behind. If you're super far behind and you see that they're trying to just score on you, and you and your team are already postured to take Zapdos and say their bot lane, go ahead and head that way. See if you can get off a couple picks, like a pick or 2 down in bot lane while they're in your scoring areas. That way it means just taking Zapdos is a whole lot easier because it'll be a 5v3 on Zapdos. And if you're super far ahead and they're trying to do it, you probably don't need to worry about it too much because you're securing Zapdos. So even if they do get, a 30-point dunk, which is actually 60 points, you'll be getting Zapdos. So your entire team will be getting 50 points. And that's 100 bomb for everybody. And then make sure to take out all the goals when you do get Zapdos, because, that's super important. You want to be able to unlock the central goal. You honestly don't really need to worry about it too much, but yes. Tip number 5, get Zapdos. If you're winning, you'll guarantee your win. If you're losing, you can squeeze out a win. Zapdos is a game changer. Get Zapdos. And bonus tip for the very end. After all, this is just a fun game for everybody to play. It's a game targeted towards kids. It's a very surface level MOBA. Just have fun. Pick the Pokemon you think are cool. Play them how you want. These are just the basic tips for any player that wants to get better at the game than they already are. If you're looking to climb ranked, if you're looking to impress some friends with how good you are and your understanding of the game, this is for them. But if you are just a casual Pokemon player, casual MOBA player, this is your first MOBA ever. I know that's the case for a lot of people. Have fun, take your time, and enjoy Pokemon Unite. It just came out after all. Have your fun. And until tomorrow, this has been your boy Neebles for the win. Yeah, I said tomorrow. I might just upload daily. Who knows? This kind of be pretty lit. But we'll see you next time.